All of this equipment I had stored in the back of my warehouse. After we closed down the custom division, we sold most of the equipment, but I kept a bunch of it because I knew one day I was going to want me a little hobby shop. I am setting this up for cabinet doors, panels. This is what they call the stick cutter, which is the long rail of a door. This is a coping cutter. That's going to be stacked on top down in there so I can just move it up and down. We have a long process as we're working through this. We have to clean up some of the equipment, get everything greased back up again, and make it work the way it's supposed to work. Sometimes after it's been used for a long time, it takes maintenance. When we took this machine out of production, nobody bothered to clean it. So now we got to clean this thing out. I'm going to have to get an air hose and blow that out. I was very excited. This is one of my happy days. I get to pull my toys out. We may have to get a little help on this. May have to get a little persuader. Let me see. I know what I have. You can use some real fine grit sandpaper if you're doing it in an application like this and working with spindles particularly. They will rust up. So if you take a real fine grit, maybe a 320 grit sandpaper, and clean it up, that'll shine it back up and take that rust off and make everything slide a lot better. So I learned a long time ago with a little dude like me, sometimes you got to pick up a bigger stick. And we're going to use this, try this one first, and use it for more leverage. There we go. See, it's all about the bigger stick. And I've done that with some of these tooling before, and you'll probably see me do some more of it. So this is it's basically a shaper, what they call a generic shaper. You can do a lot of things with this. It just holds some very big cutting heads. We used it for making our stick and cope doors or cabinet doors. So we would cut our stick, we'd profile our stick and our cope where the two come together, and I'll show you more of that later. What we're doing is this bottom one cuts this long rail on this inside profile, and you'll see that profile right there. Rub some dirt in it, now you can see it. So this side is cut like that, and then the top cutter, this one here, cuts this portion of it where it comes in so they fit together. The stick and the cope. And the reason you do this with these types of doors is that creates a lot of strength. So if you just put a butt joint together, you can do that, but it's not enough strength. So you really got to make sure that those fit right, and then you glue them, clamp them up, and then as long as you get a good glue bond, that wood will break before that glue bond comes apart. All right, the smoke test. Turn the stop feeder on, you see the wheels moving. We have a board here that we're going to use as a test. Just feed it right in there. And away she goes. Now we have what is called the stick. So we have the portion that goes right there. That's your side rail. So it'll fit. Now the next thing we got to do is cut the cope, which has the tongue on it, to go into it. We'll take our spacer sticks off here so that we can move this thing up and down. There we go. Now we can move this out of the way so we can crank this up and down. I have a dial here that we can use for the going up and down. You see we've written some things around up here, but I'm going to write on there 1260 standard stick. That way I know every time to put it right back down to that reading. All right, now we just moved that. We're moving the spindle down. For you guys that are out there doing this stuff and you want to do this in your garage at home, you don't need all this equipment. There's 100 places to order cabinet doors online. So if you ever find yourself and you need to have a couple of doors, whether it's for a little hutch that you're building or a nightstand, you can actually order those. And that's a little bit of a secret that you don't have to tell anybody else. Because when your friends come over, hey, you built it, right? Don't tell them all about that. This thing has air running through the bed underneath. And there's all these air holes. And it makes it float like it's on a bed of air. So when you're moving it back and forth, it doesn't take real long. Activate that to lock your piece in place. And away she goes. Together just like that. Clamp that up. There's your stick and coat. Run this piece through like we did that one, and it goes all the way around. Next thing I'm going to show you is how to set up the panel cutter. This one is not raised panel. We're going to be doing some raised panel, so I'll show you that. And that's to cut this inside piece. And that has to fit inside of that groove right there. We're going to show you how to do the raised panel now. The lighting is a little bit different in this set. We did a little bit of Hollywood magic. You'll notice the cabinet in the back. That is the finished product. When we were shooting the raised panels, it didn't come out right, so I wanted to do that again. We just took a piece of plywood today, which is actually kind of cool because you can, in fact, use plywood to mold it and machine it also. So here we go. Okay, so now we have, oh, wait a minute. I can't say so. So my producer told me the other day, if I say so again, he's going to jump out the window. So I think I just said it like 5 times. Here we go. This is how we cut our raised panels, and it's a cutter that is set up for the raised in the front and a back cutter. That way it slides into the door frame just like that, brings this out close to flush in the back, and this out close to flush in the front. Now, if you choose to use plywood and machine plywood, you can see that there's knots and some places in this plywood where it's not completely full. You can, in fact, buy some plywood that is a higher grade, and it's basically a lot more ply. So just buy like a a 9 or 11 plywood, and that will eliminate a lot of that. But it is a way to get away from having to glue up hardwood panels. If you're painting it, you can sand this and nobody will be the wiser. And that's how we do a raised panel. I want to thank you for joining us on this and for being a part of our lives. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, peace.